G'day and welcome to Disc Golf Down Under. It's Matt here. This week I'm doing a guide and a review of my home course here, which is the Newington Armory in Sydney, Australia. So I'm going to be trying to include as much info as I can, including course info, services and facilities, how to get here, a bit of a history, and also my thoughts on the course. So let's jump in and check out the Newington Armory. The Newington Armory is situated in the geographic heart of Sydney, Australia, right next to Olympic Park, which of course hosted one of the most popular Olympic Games back in 2000. The address of the Armory is 1 Jamison Street, Sydney Olympic Park, and look for the Sydney Olympic Park Lodge Gate on the right-hand side of the road as you drive in from Holker Street. I have included the GPS coordinates of key features in the video description below. The Armory Disc Golf Course is the home of Sydney Disc Golf Club and the only free-to-play course in Sydney as of January 2021. You can check out the Facebook page, Sydney Disc Golf Club Incorporated, for upcoming events and more information. And there's also a Facebook group called Sydney Disc Golf Club where members can communicate all things disc golf. There's also a website, sydneydiscgolf.com, but this hasn't been updated since 2017. League days and social events are usually held each month on a Sunday, and the course hosts at least 2 tournaments each year, with the Armory Winter Ambush and the Armory Summer Slam. Access to the course is free and opening times do vary. Gates to the park used to be open sunrise to sunset, but recently opening hours have been reduced to 9 a.m. to 5 p.m, and this is 7 days a week. So you may find the gates open outside these hours, but best to plan for 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. when you visit. The course was established in 2006, initially with 9 baskets, but it has been expanded to an 18-hole layout in 2014. All baskets are of the Innova disc catcher variety. Some of them are starting to show their age with some corrosion, but they still catch okay. As the name suggests, the course is located on the site of an old armory. The area was established in 1890 as a weapons storage site, and in 1921 became the Naval Armament Depot. The site grew over the years to cover an area of 259 hectares during World War II, and it continued to operate until 1996 when it was closed in preparation for the Olympic Games. All but one of the buildings and bunkers dating back to 1897 are still standing today, and some are open to the public. Today, the site is heritage listed and also a nature reserve. The Armory is managed under the National Parks and Wildlife Act and importantly subject to the same rules and conditions as other Australian national parks. So that means things like no drone flying and closure of the park during high fire danger periods. At the time of this video, there's 2 main course layouts in use. There is the main 18-hole red layout, which is a par 57, 1,726 metre course. And you'll find the GPS coordinates for T1 in the video description. I've also published a course guide and a walkthrough video, which you can find in the card up above and also in the video description below. The second course layout is the 18-hole yellow, or sometimes we call it gold layout, which is a par 61, 2,064 metre course. It uses the same baskets but with different tee locations. And again, you'll find the GPS coordinates for T1 of the yellow layout in the video description below. Other layouts come and go, and you can find these on UDisc. As the Armory is a heritage site, there are no tee signs, which makes finding the tees a challenge, even for those who play there often. There is a sign with a course map next to the tee for hole 1, but that's really it for signage. The UDisc app is recommended, where you can go in and open the course map and use the GPS tracking to navigate the course. There are arrow markers on some of the baskets pointing in the direction of the next tee for the red layout, but these sometimes move around and they're not always accurate. The red course tees are marked by a rectangular patch of pavers set into the ground, and the yellow tees are marked with yellow dot markers. But these can get overrun by grass or destroyed by the mowers, so sometimes they can be difficult, if not impossible, to find. Running through the middle of the course, you'll find Typha Creek. This creek doesn't really hold much water, but it is filled with reeds. For disc golfers, the reeds are strictly out of bounds from a rules perspective and also from the park rules. Treat the reeds as lava. If your disc goes in there, it's gone for good. Now, why is that? The reeds are a protected habitat for the endangered green and golden bellfrog, and the course is patrolled by rangers on a regular basis. And if you're caught in the reeds, expect to be thrown off the course. And if too many people get caught in the reeds, the club even may get closed down. So stay out of them. The easiest way to get to the Armory is to drive. However, this area is a popular tourist and visitor attraction, and the car parks can fill up rapidly during good weather, which we get a lot of in Sydney. On good days, try to get there by 10:30 a.m. at the latest to guarantee a car park spot. Access to the park is via Jamison Street, and the closest entry point is via a gate on the right-hand side, approximately 500 metres after you turn off Holker Street. You'll find a car park with spaces for up to 12 cars just outside the gate. However, these parking spots are limited to 2-hour stays, and you may be booked if you stay longer than 2 hours, as the rangers do police this. So if you are planning to stay longer than 2 hours, there is a all-day free parking area not far away, and you'll find this car park on the left-hand side of Jamison Street, about 100 metres before the entry gate. To find your way to hole 1, it's about a 250 metre walk after you go through the gate on Jamison Street. Just head up the road, over the top of the hill, and down the other side, and you'll find a sign on the right-hand side of the road indicating the tee for hole 1. The tee for hole 1 of the yellow layout is on the left-hand side, about 50 metres before that. There's also a car park further down Jamison Street, closer to Parramatta River. However, this car park fills up quickly on weekends. You can enter the Armory from the gatehouse at the river, and it's about a 500 metre walk from the visitor centre up the road to tee number 1. A word of warning, the only entrance to the park is via Jamison Street, and on popular days, leaving the park can be a nightmare, with traffic backed up for half a kilometre or more. If you want to avoid this, there is a secret third entrance. You can park your car on Blaxland Avenue over in the suburb of Newington, and then you can walk through an access way between the apartment blocks at the northeast end of Blaxland Avenue, down the hill, under the road, and then come through the gate at the rear of the Armory. This will bring you up to the tee for hole 15 of the red layout, or the tee for hole 13 of the yellow layout. Okay, what about if you don't have a car? Well, public transport is not great, but you can catch a train to Sydney Olympic Park, but you'll still be left with a 1.8 kilometre walk from the station to the rear gate at hole 15. You can also catch a bus from either Parramatta or Strathfield, which do go via the Sydney Olympic Park train station. But the nearest stop is in Avenue of Africa in Newington, leaving you still with an 800 metre walk to the Jamison Street gate. Finally, you can also catch a ferry to Sydney Olympic Park Wharf, but again you'll have about a 1.5 kilometre walk along the river to the Armory Gatehouse. If you're a complete beginner, discs can be hired or borrowed from the Armory Visitor Centre, which is in the right-hand side of the gatehouse at the northern end of the Armory. It will cost you $20 per disc deposit, but that's fully refundable when you return the disc. If the visitor centre is closed, you can ask at the bicycle hire shop on the left-hand side of the gatehouse. They do have a limited supply of discs as well. If you're looking to purchase some discs, the Sydney Disc Golf Club does sell discs on league days, which occur usually once a month. There are at least 4 toilet blocks close to the disc golf course. The cleanest toilet is located between the tee for hole 1 red and the tee for hole 1 yellow. You can also find toilets near the Jamison Street gate next to the gatehouse, and there's also one across the road behind the basket for hole 2 red. These toilets do vary in quality, as some of them date back to World War II time. It's highly recommended that you bring your own water or drinks with you to the course. You will find taps on the course around hole 6 and 7, but since these taps don't get a lot of use, and the pipes are probably older than most of us, I have seen some fairly dirty water come out of them. So the safest place to get water on the course is at the toilet blocks, or also near the tee for hole 1, there's a tap at the corner of the house near basket 1. On competition days, soft drink or water can also be purchased from the Sydney Disc Golf Club. There's no food or snacks on the course, and the closest places to grab something to eat are around 600 metres away. The Armory Wharf Cafe is located down on the river just to the west of the gatehouse, and they are open Tuesday to Sunday from 8 or 9 a.m. to around mid-afternoon. Here you can grab a sit-down breakfast or lunch, a good coffee, or just something to take away. There's also a kiosk a little further away in Blackstone Riverside Park near the children's play area, but it's only open Fridays to Mondays, as well as during school holidays. You'll also find a small coffee hut called the Wharf Canteen located near the gatehouse, where you can grab a coffee or an ice cream, but their hours of business are variable, so you may not find them open. There's a lost and found locker at the end of the clubhouse near the tee for hole number 6. So if you find a disc or anything else out on the course, you can leave it in the locker. Also, if you're looking for a lost disc, you can check in here. The Armory Disc Golf Course is located inside the Newington Armory and right next to Blackstone Riverside Park. This is a really family-friendly location, so why not make a family day of it? There's tours of the Armory on weekends, which include a narrow gauge railway trip, or you could hire a Segway. The Armory is also home to the Australian Scout Museum and the Armory Gallery. In Blackstone Riverside Park across the road, you'll find a great children's play area with lots of equipment to play on, including a flying fox, a climbing tower, and a water play area. There's also numerous barbecue areas in the park and along the river, but be warned, this can get very popular and busy when the weather's nice. So if the family aren't into throwing frisbees, dump them at the park while you go and play and then catch up with them later. The Armory Disc Golf Course is a fairly open and lightly vegetated course with some undulation. There's probably less than 10 metres of elevation change across the course, and most holes are open with a small number of trees close to either the basket or tee. To make up for the lack of vegetation, the holes are longer than your typical golf course. The average hole length is 96 metres on the red course and 115 metres on the yellow course. So it can be a brutal initiation for beginners, especially hole 1 on both layouts. Most tees are natural on grass or dirt, with a few located on bitumen roads. As I mentioned before, the tees are only marked on the ground and they can be a challenge to find. U-disc is really a must, and if you've got kids with you, you can turn it into a game of find the tee markers. In general, the Armory is well maintained and the grass is mowed regularly, though there have been times when the mower has been out of action or on holidays and we've had knee-deep grass after good rain. Makes for a fun round of hide and seek. There is a creek that runs through the course, but it's not exactly a water hazard. The creek is a protected habitat and the course has been designed so that players stay away from the creek. However, if you do throw a really bad shot, you may lose your disc. And as mentioned earlier, the reeds are to be treated as lava and you should stay out, regardless of the urge to retrieve your plastic. Also, some of the low-lying areas around the creek can get a little muddy and soggy after heavy rain, so watch out for that. The Armory sees a lot of foot traffic and cyclists, so just be careful when playing on busier days. Make sure other park uses are clear before you let rip. If you've got a cart, the course is generally cart-friendly. There are a few steep banks on the far side of the course, but you can get up and down them with a cart without too much trouble. On U-disc, the Armory has an average review score of 4.1 out of 5 from 170 reviews. I'd personally agree that this score is pretty much spot on. On Fly Spot, the reviewers haven't been as kind though, with an average score of 2.7 out of 5, but that's only 7 reviews. The major criticism with past reviews is that the Armory used to be only open on weekends, and also the lack of signage. But since 2019, the Armory is now open 7 days a week. Unfortunately though, there's still a lack of signage and this won't change because of the site's heritage status. The Armory can be a fun course, but I wouldn't have it as one of Australia's top 10 courses. It definitely favours those who have a long throw, and you aren't as likely to be penalised by a wayward throw. The long holes also make it tough on beginners. In summer, make sure you bring your hat, sunscreen and the Tropical Strength Mozzie spray. There's not a lot of shade on the course, so you will get burnt if you aren't protected. And the course is also located next to a wetland, so at certain times of the year, the mosquitoes can be quite thick, especially in the southwest corner. Not as bad as the infamous Jasmine course, but bad enough to send you running. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments if you like this style of course review. Let me know if I've missed anything. I'm hoping to get around Oz soon and do more course reviews like this, so make sure you subscribe to Disc Golf Down Under so you see these videos when they're released. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.